as I always ask you, if you like this reading, please like or subscribe, leave a comment if that's what you'd like to do. I don't mind. So I'm just going to start right now. I'm going to say any more of that rubbish. So the first card you have your past is the Nine of Cups. Yeah, this is interesting actually. There are a lot of mixed things in this card. It can be good, bad, it can be a lot of different things. The first thing I'm looking at here is this arch made of cups. So it's made of emotions. And, you know, arches can symbolize shelter. So it's a little bit like your emotions were sheltering something that you had hidden. You didn't want to show people things. And that was because of your emotions. That's what I'm seeing. You know, this man on this card, he looks as if he has everything actually. And, you know, anyone looking at him, they probably think, oh, this is a really content person. They have what they want. They have everything. Everything seems fine. He's smiling, you know, but something's behind this curtain, obviously. And whatever's behind the curtain, it's crowned by the emotions, by these cups. So I think this card's a bit about you and it's a bit about someone else. I think there's someone, I don't know if they were around you. I don't think they were at this time because this man's alone, but they wanted to protect you. They wanted to protect you with their emotions. They wanted to help you. They really cared about you. And I think you did have, or no, I think they had some romantic feelings towards you, I think, but I'm getting this feeling that maybe you're being a little bit elusive or you're acting as if you weren't available to them for some reason. You know, I always get this kind of thing in your readings that you do want that closeness, but to get that, then that would involve you having to kind of pull down this curtain, and it would involve feeling exposed because you've done that. So I think you also have, you know, I think you also have this kind of set way of doing things, if that makes sense. You've got a certain way that you run your life from day to day, and I think maybe you also have doubts that, you know, they'd be able to fit into that. Maybe it might be that as well. There's also a feeling around this of you know, I need to get myself ready. I need to fix things up in my life before I can even think about having this person or anyone at all close to me. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting of that, around that as well. Obviously this is if you're single. So the thing I'm seeing here is you don't have anything to fix up. You don't have anything to fix up. There's nothing behind that curtain that, you know, would be bad for people to see. The only thing I'm seeing you having to fix up is the way you feel about this with these cups, the emotions that are guarding that curtain. You know, the way you feel about this, the way you feel about yourself. That's the only thing that you need to fix up. You're very guarded. Look at this man. He looks as if he's guarding what's behind the curtain. That's what you're doing. You know, you're determined to do things in a certain way as well. And I think that's worked for you in some areas of your life, but it really does not work in others. That's what I'm seeing. That's been a big problem for you in a few other areas of your life. Love being one of them, friendships being one of them. And also achieving certain things that you have this fear about. That's another thing. The big thing I'm getting in this card is that what's behind this curtain is not that bad. It's absolutely fine. It's more your feelings about what's behind there, or what you imagine's behind there. That's what the barrier is. It's kind of like, oh, I can't let anyone see what's behind here. If they find out what I'm really like, they're not going to like me anymore. I have to guard this thing. I have to put the curtain up. I have to stand in front of it. And I feel very emotional about this because the cups are above there. They're kind of guarding it as well. So that's what I'm seeing in that. That's something you've got to try and work through if you do want that closeness, if you do want these things that you want to achieve. You've got to try and deal with those emotions. That's what I'm seeing in that card. I hope that makes sense. I know it was very mixed up. The next card you have your past is the Two of Swords. Yeah, this is really... I always struggle with articulating your readings properly because there's always a lot of confusing, mixed things in there all the time. I always get that in your readings. So Yeah, I think this is also a bit about this battle that you have going on in your head. It's almost like you want something, you really want something, but you're a bit afraid of what comes with that. So it's kind of like, you're left with these two choices. Go and do this thing, which feels really huge and scary and overwhelming, or stay as you are and kind of keep things as they are. But, staying as you are and going down the same track over and over again, that goes against your core as an Aries. There is no way that an Aries wants to go down the same track over and over again. You want newness. You want to experience new things. So this is telling me that the scary road, the hard thing, the challenging thing is the right thing for you to do. And I think you know that as well. You've just been avoiding it. That's what I'm seeing. And I've seen this in your readings before as well. I know this challenging thing is going to bring you a lot of stress. I can't pretend it won't do that. But as an Aries, the best choice for you is always the bold, scary one. You've got to do that. Seriously, I think you know that as well. I keep on getting this. You know this. You know this. The other thing I'm seeing is kind of similar to what I was seeing in the Nine of Cups. You're guarding your heart, or you were at this time, and you probably still are, but you were at this time definitely, because this woman's arms are crossed. They're making a cross over her heart. She's saying no to her heart. I just think you'll feel so much better if you start bringing your guard down. Only to the right people, though. Obviously, you have to be discerning about who you're going to bring your guard down to. But, I think the thing is, you felt really judged in the past, I think. And what you've got to realise is the right people won't judge you. And this person who wants to come close to you in the Nine of Cups, they definitely won't judge you. They absolutely won't. So it's a matter of letting your guard down. Let your guard down. Let your guard down to the right people. It's kind of, okay, so it's not a matter of putting your guard down or keeping it up. It's not like let your guard down or keep it up. It's let your guard down, choose the right people to let it down in front of. I hope that makes sense. And I think the person in the Nine of Cups is one of those people that you'd feel safe to let your guard down in front of. That's what I'm seeing. I hope that makes sense. You see what I mean? It's very hard to articulate what I'm seeing in these cards when I get an Aries reading. It always says. The last card you have for your past is the Four of Swords. Okay, so this is about a break. This is about getting a rest. This is what you need. This is a message to you, I think, telling you to take a break. I know this is in the past. I don't think you've taken this break, so I think you still need to hear this message. I think you might have taken a few smaller breaks at some time. I don't know if it was recently, but at some time you have. They weren't enough. They either weren't long enough or they weren't good for you. You didn't take full advantage of those breaks. I think you might have, instead of, getting yourself together, getting your head together, clearing your head, resting, I think you were probably stressed during those breaks for some reason. I think you might have, I think what happened was you're on these breaks, and I think when you're on them, you might have gotten a little bit restless, which is a really Aries thing to do. And I think then you probably ended them. Probably not long after you started them, actually. I mean, it is an Aries thing. I do that as well all the time. I think, oh, I'd love to have a break. I really need one. And then when I finally take a break, I start to get restless and go, oh no, I can't do this. I need to go back. That's what happens. So that's what I'm seeing happening with you here. So I think you really do need a break. I think you need a bigger break. For one, you need to get your things clear in your head, which is what I'm seeing you having to do in the Nine of Cups. And I think you also need to gear yourself up toward doing this very difficult thing, this scary thing that you know you have to do. It's almost like you're going to have to psych yourself up to do this. The man on this card needs to lie here. He's there for a reason. He's got all this stress on his head with all these swords hanging over his head. And he needs to get peace, he needs to get calm, because that's the only way he's going to be able to clear these swords and move forward. And that's what I'm seeing with you. I think it's really, really hard for you to clear your head. You're very restless. Usually there are thoughts, there are feelings, everything's running through your head constantly. But you need to at least try to clear your head as much as you possibly can, because that's when the new plans, the new ideas, the new ways that are going to help you to do this thing that you want to do, they're all going to come in. And I think if you let these new ideas in, there are going to be some ideas about how to do this thing you want to do that isn't so scary, that helps you to get over the scariness, that helps to make things easier for you so that you can do this without feeling the stress around it. But you've got to clear the fog. You've got this fog in your head, and you need to clear it. You need to clear it, and that's the only way you're going to let these other ideas in that are going to help you. That's what I'm seeing. So the next card you have for your present is the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, I think you might actually be getting together with someone, partnering up with someone, working with someone. And I think this experience is going to bring you a lot of really interesting ideas into you as well, illuminating things. You're going to have your mind opened up to a lot of new things. Yeah, I'm seeing this one person, this one specific person, and they're very, very different to you. They're very different. And I think you might be joining up with this person. Look at the two people on the right-hand side of this card. There's a monk, a religious man, someone who's very serious about what he does and what he thinks about. And there's also a jester, or someone who looks like a jester anyway. And so obviously if you have a jester, he's the opposite. He's someone who jokes around. He's not very serious. So this person is very, very different to you, the opposite to you, the complete opposite actually. But when you get together, they'll really help you. They'll give you some really, really interesting ideas, some really interesting insights into a lot of things. They're really going to open your mind. And you're going to come up with some really interesting ideas together. Because when I look at these three coins on this card, sometimes I see two heads or two brains together in the bottom. And the one in the top looks a little bit like an idea, a light bulb coming out of these two brains. So that's what I'm seeing is going to happen. You're going to get these amazing ideas when you work together. And don't dismiss working with someone who's very different. I'm seeing a little bit of nervousness around this. So you might be thinking, oh, they've got nothing in common with me. What do I have to talk to them about? How can we work together? How can we do this together when we're so different? But sometimes when you're with someone who has a completely different life experience and a completely different way of looking at things, they can bring you all these ways of thinking and ideas that you never would have thought of. They can open your whole world up into all these different things. And I think you're going to be the same for that person. You're going to open your world up to them as well. So it's going to be a very nice mutual working together. So please say yes to this if this is resonating with you. The next card you have for your present is the Fool, which I love. I love the Fool. Yeah, I'm actually seeing some love in this card. So I think you might be trying to avoid this for some reason, but it's happening whether you like it or not. I am seeing a lot of avoidance in love. I was seeing that in the Nine of Cups. So I think you know who this person is, actually. I think they might be a friend. It's really strange because I'm actually seeing both of you going backwards and forwards in your minds a bit. You're both physically attracted to each other, very attracted. You really, really are. I'm seeing that. They're attracted to you, you're attracted to them, but you're both sort of fighting against this. That's what I'm seeing. I don't know why that is. Well, I can see why you are. I was seeing a bit of that in the Nine of Cups, but they're kind of going through a similar thing. Yeah, you're a little bit wary, I think, because of what I was seeing in the Nine of Cups, but also because I think someone might have hurt you in the past. I think they really hurt you. And I actually think this person might have some similar traits to the person who hurt you. Obviously, the good things. But these aspects of their personality are a little bit similar, and I think that might be triggering your memories or triggering you to think of these old memories. And, then because of that, your head might be shouting, no, 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 I don't want this, I don't want this. They've had some bad experiences as well. And I also think they have a few concerns about you as well. They might actually be wondering whether you're going to stick around or not, because you can be a little bit like the Fool. You can be a little bit like, you can wander around, you start things, you don't finish them, all of that kind of thing that the Fool is. So they might be thinking, are they going to stick around? Is this the person I want? So that might be what's concerning them. So if this is resonating, you're definitely both attracted to each other. there's a bit of fear on both sides. There's a lot of there are a lot of barking dogs here, like the one on this card. You know, the man wants to go forward and the dog's barking, saying, no, 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 come back, come back. So that's what's happening inside of both of you. It's like, I want to come forward, but no, I shouldn't. Backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards. That's what's going on inside of your head, and that's what's going on inside of their head as well. You're both going through this. That's what I'm seeing in that card. The last card you have your presence, the Two of Pentacles. So, yeah, again, I'm seeing some really strong feelings that you have for this person. They have for you too. And I'm seeing a kind of, there's a kind of a thing or a kind of a place or something where you get together, and I think it'll really hit you then. It'll be like, wow, that's what I'm seeing. Wow, it's going to hit you. I think these feelings of wow, I think they're probably going to make your mind sort of start whizzing around, whirring around, because I think this is going to take you by surprise, for one. And I think you knew this attraction was already there, but I think when you see them this one last time or this one time, it's going to be really obvious. It's going to just hit you. And then after that hits you, I think your head's going to be kind of whizzing around like these two coins, partly because of what happened to you in the past. I think this person who hurt you, you felt like that when you were around them. Your head was whizzing around, your heart was whizzing around, you couldn't quite keep up with it. And that ended in a disaster. So I think you're thinking, oh, I'm feeling this again. This is going to end in a disaster as well. I'm really afraid. So there's that. Your feelings are kind of overwhelming. And yeah, I'm seeing, yeah, look at this behind this man in this car. There are two ships. They're just about to crash, and lots of waves. So you had these feelings, and then there was a crash. It was a disaster in your past. I'm not seeing that this is happening here. I think this is a very trustworthy person. I think, you know, there's nothing wrong with this person. I'm not seeing any problems happening with them. The only problems I'm seeing here are what's going on in your head and what's going on in their head. That's what I'm seeing. And I think you're both going to have to reconcile all of that before you can move forward together. That's what I'm seeing. So the first card you have your future is the Five of Pentacles. Yeah. Yeah, this isn't as bad as it looks. I'm seeing something really interesting here, a message in this. You know, if you look at these people, they're obviously outside in the cold, and, you know, they'd love to go inside where it's warm and where it's safe and where they'll be taken care of properly. You know, churches have always been a refuge to people who need help, and obviously these people need refuge, but, you know, they can't find the door. There's no door in this card, so they're walking around and around. This is what I'm imagining. They're walking around and around, thinking, where's the door? Where's the door? I can't find the door. I can't get inside. I need the heat. I need the warmth. I need shelter. I need someone to help me, but I can't get inside. So this is very interesting. I'm seeing you having some conversations with someone. This is someone who you're very familiar with. They might be a family member. And I think you're going to hear some news about someone else who's quite close to you. And it's good news. It's positive news. But whatever this is, I think this might make you feel a little bit not jealous. You're not a jealous person. That's not what I'm seeing. It's sort of like, it's sort of a feeling like, oh, I wish I had that, or I wish I could have that. I wish that had happened to me. Things like that never happened to me. I wish it would. That's the kind of feeling. It's not jealousy. It's just kind of like, oh, you know, I wish that would happen. And the thing is, this person who you're hearing about, they probably feel that same way about you, about some of the things you do in your life. And so I think this is about realizing that, you know, we all have things and we all do things that other people dream of. And we also dream of what other people have, no matter where we are in life, no matter who we are. Everyone looks at other people and they suddenly think, well, I wish I had that. You know, and that's just the way life is. The other thing is, yeah, you could have what this is. You could have whatever this person has. You know, your mind's so powerful. It's achieved a lot for you. But I think sometimes it also stops you from doing some things as well. Or your emotions do with these big Arch of Cups. They kind of, this Arch of Cups in the Nine of Cups, it's kind of protecting you, but it also stops you. It's kind of got this umbrella, like a ceiling, and your emotions are like the ceiling covering you, and you can't get through it sometimes. Your emotions stop you. That's what I'm seeing. And I was seeing that in the Four of Swords as well. You know, try to take some time out, try to clear your mind, clear these emotions so that you can get some constructive thinking into your mind, because sometimes there's a lot of destructive thinking. And I think no matter what you do, I think no matter what you achieve, what you have, what you do, if you have these destructive thoughts and these kind of emotions that are stopping you, you're not going to feel as content. You're not going to feel as good as you should be until you clear these things out of your head. So take that time out, take that rest, get the emotions and get the thoughts, the destructive thoughts, cleared out of your head. You might have to meditate, you might have to do whatever you need to do, I don't know. The next card you have your future is the Page of Swords. Okay, so I see this all the time in your readings, and it's there. It's there again. It's always going to be there. And, you know, if you ever feel not good enough, or you start getting angry with yourself, not achieving as much as you'd like to, I do that myself, or, you know, you're a bit down on yourself and not being as good or whatever, I'm like that too. Just know there are people watching you. There are people watching you. They're jealous of you. And if you weren't good at what you do, if you weren't achieving things, they'd have nothing to feel jealous of, but they do. There are some people watching you. It might be on social media, it might be in real life or whatever. I am seeing probably 2 people, maybe even more than that. They're definitely talking about you. A lot of things they're saying are just ridiculous. They're just not true. They're just lies, basically. And I think some of these things they're saying, they're just so crazy that if you heard them, you'd probably laugh. That's how mad they are. And, you know, again, this is an indication you're doing something right. This is an indication that you're doing something right. If you do hear any of this silly gossip or this crazy talk or whatever it is, try not to get too defensive like this page, because I'm getting this feeling that someone would actually like that. They'd like you to be defensive. They'd like you to be destructive. Get off your track, get off your game, get off your goals and start concentrating on them. And if you do that, if you get off your purpose, and you start concentrating on what these people are saying, you're like them, because they're not following their purpose. They're too busy thinking about what you're doing and talking about what you're doing. And if you talk about them, you're the same as them. So don't do that. Stick to your goals. Stick to your purpose. Ignore these crazy people. Let them be distracted by you. Let them be distracted by everyone else. Don't you be distracted. Just ignore these silly people. The last card you have for your future is the Seven of Cups. Yeah, again, this is about these people. They're a bit deluded, actually. They definitely have the wrong idea about you. They have these crazy ideas and they're making things up and they're talking about you and whatever, and that'd be fine. You know, if they just keep their thoughts to themselves, that would be absolutely fine, but they're not doing that. I don't think any of this gossip's going to harm your reputation or anything like that. So just try to ignore it as much as you can. Don't start being like the Page of Swords. Just leave it. The other thing I'm seeing here is that with this love connection that I'm seeing in the Two of Pentacles, I'm actually seeing you both. I think you might be spending a bit of time away from each other for a while. I don't know if you're around each other. I just keep on getting this feeling that maybe you're far apart a lot of the time, or it might be that you're kind of separating, just not because you don't like each other, but just for practical reasons or something, long distance maybe. It might even be that. But you know, you're both going to be a bit quiet around each other for a while with each other because of this kind of separation. I think it's going to be a good thing, because I think you both need to spend some time alone to sort out your feelings and sort out your heads. You're definitely going to see each other again. Yeah, I am seeing a break, and then I'm seeing you connecting again. So you're still going to be talking, I think, on and off, but physically you're not going to be around each other, but you are going to come back together at some time again. That's what I'm seeing. So Aries, I hope this resonated, and I hope it made sense, because it was quite mixed up. But yeah, general readings, Can't always resonate with everyone, as you know, but again, if you like this reading, please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment if you'd like to, and thank you so much for watching.